Hello everybody, it's Sherry with the CGH Health Foundation, and I am back with another What's Cooking CGH video. And today I'm going to be making fajitas. That's a really easy recipe. If you've ever ordered fajitas in a Mexican restaurant, you know that they come out in the dining room and they're just sizzling and there's smoke and they smell delicious. But that's not something that I always want to do in my home. And so the version I'm making today, I call this my sheet pan veggie fajitas. So I'm doing a vegetarian version. I'm going to be using portabella mushrooms because they're a big meaty mushroom. And everything is going to go in a sheet pan and go into the oven. So no muss, no fuss, and very easy to do. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is to make kind of a marinade with all of the flavors of the fajita. And I'm going to start with some olive oil. And into my big mixing bowl, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons, which is a 1/4 cup, but I got my spoon out, so I'm going to measure it that way. So 4 tablespoons of olive oil into the bowl. Right? This is the way I do salads and everything. I mix all of the marinade or the dressing ingredients in the bottom of the bowl and then put everything else on top and toss it around. The next fajita seasoning is some cumin. This is one of my favorite spices. I love the way it smells. And we're going to do a whole teaspoon of cumin. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon measure here. So that goes right in there. Next, we're going to do some garlic powder, about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And the next seasoning is smoked paprika. So this will give it a nice little background of smoky flavor. We're just going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. And part of that smell, that delicious smell you smell when the fajitas come out, is the garlic. And so even though I put a little bit of garlic powder in there, I'm going to amp up the garlic with 4 cloves of fresh garlic. Now I've got 3 of them cleaned already, but the way that I do garlic is when I separate out the clove, put it on your cutting board, give it a whack with the knife, excuse me, and that loosens the skin around the clove. And then you just peel off that skin and with your knife, give a trim to that little woody end. And then I'm going to use my garlic press. Excuse me. I do 1 take, so had a little bit of a coughing fit there. And 3, the recipe calls for 3 cloves. Mine were small, so I'm going to put an extra one in there. Okay, so those marinade ingredients are all in the bottom of my bowl. 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of olive oil, teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 3 or 4, or if you love garlic, 5 cloves of garlic pressed into there. All right, so now it's time for the vegetables. So classic fajita vegetables, peppers, onion, and then I'm going to do the mushrooms. And so I've got most of them cut up here. I've got 2 bell peppers. You can use whatever color you like. I have red and orange. 4 portabella mushrooms that I have cut into planks or strips. And that's the way I cut the bell peppers too, into strips. And I saved a couple of them here to show you something cool. First of all, about a 1/2 red onion. I'm just going to cut that into strips crosswise and kind of separate them a little bit in the bowl. Well, maybe I'll save that part of it. That's plenty of onion. And then here's the portabella mushroom. I used a paper towel, a damp paper towel, and wiped off the outside of it. Some people like to use a spoon and scrape out the gills, but those don't bother me so much. What I don't like to eat all the time is the stem, because that can get kind of woody. So I like to pop out the stem with my fingers and just get rid of that. And then lay it on the board, and again, cut it into strips. They're about 1/4 inch wide. And those go in the bowl. And last but not least, the peppers. So I saved a pepper. I like to watch little YouTube videos about people cutting up vegetables to find easier ways to do it. And so I saw this one for cutting a pepper, and it works really good. So you know, on a pepper, you have these indentations if you turn it over. If you take your knife and you run it along these creases, so set it up flat on your board and take your knife and run it down that crease and that crease and this crease. Okay, there's one more there, like that. And then you can pull it apart and the seeds get left all in one part. I don't know why it works, but it works really good. And there you are. Don't know how many peppers I have struggled with to get all the seeds pulled out of there, but this leaves very few seeds. Okay, and I'm going to cut the pepper into strips as well. Again, about 1/4 inch. Sometimes I like to take that little white pith off of there. Get rid of it. Another one. And there you go, vegetables all cut into strips. And next, we're just going to toss them so that they get coated with that mixture in the bottom, that olive oil and spices, those delicious smelling Mexican spices. Make sure your onions get kind of separated. Do a good job, because you want all the vegetables, the mushrooms in particular, to get coated with the oil and with the spices. Let's give it a few more turns here. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could cover this, put it in the refrigerator, and let everything marinate together. You could even do it the day before, and then you've got it all ready to go when you come home the next night for dinner. Or you can cook it right away, which is kind of what I'm going to do. And I think I've got everything mixed up pretty good. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees, and I've got a cookie sheet here. I like to line mine with some nonstick foil, and so that's what I've done here. You could use parchment paper or whatever. And then just pour your vegetables onto the cookie sheet and spread them out. You kind of want to have just a single layer if you can do that. Remember, we want them to get nice and charred. So if you put your vegetables too close together or piled on top of each other, they're kind of going to steam rather than char. Okay, again, spread out. And then these are going to go in the oven at 400 degrees. Cook them for about 15 to 20 minutes. You should be able to smell them by then. And then after 15 or 20 minutes, go in, stir them around a little bit, flip them over a little bit, put them back in the oven, put them back in the oven for another 15 minutes or 20 minutes and until they get that nice char on them. I'm going to stick these in the oven. Set my timer because I always forget to do that. And then after about half an hour, there are your cooked fajita vegetables. And I'm going to put a fajita together. I've got a tortilla that I warmed in the microwave for just about 30 seconds. You can use any kind of tortilla you want. And let me get a fork. And I want to make sure I get some of the mushrooms and the peppers and the onion on there. And when you put together your fajita, I like to squeeze a little bit of lime on there. That sounds good. Do that. Maybe a couple slices of avocado. And a little bit of sour cream. You could put some cilantro on if you wanted to. And just like in the restaurant, roll it up. Take a bite. Let's see how it tastes. That is really good. Easy to make, won't take long, and you'll have a really good oven-baked sheet pan fajita. See you next time. Bye-bye.